buddy.
What's going on?
Nothing, man. It's Christmas Eve.
It is, yeah.
And I guess you guys have been knocking the crap out of the bonita, huh?
Yeah, no, it's the last. They've been around for a couple weeks, but they really decided to turn on the last 4 days or so.
It's amazing when you go out there and look for them, what you find, huh?
Yeah. There's so much anchovy around. There's so much life around. You put some trollers out, driving around, get stopped up. It's been we've been very cooperative. It's been some pretty fun fishing.
Yeah, it was my favorite thing to do when I was running the sport boats is, oh my gosh, they made my career when I first started back in the early 80s. Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. My God, those big bonito were just the kick in the pants. They were so much fun.
It's perfect. All the people that have already been fishing and are used to that offshore style, they get a little taste of it on the half days and 3/4 days this time of year. The people who haven't done that kind of fishing before, it's that perfect introduction to like an offshore style fishing. If they were thinking they wanted to go on one of those tuna trips or the offshore kelp patty, freelance stuff. That's this very similar style fishing, dragging feathers around, trolling around. Looking for schools of fish just out off, the drop off a little bit, essentially offshore fishing, but in half-day range.
Yeah, it's incredible what's happening right now. It's so good. And let's just hope that it makes it through this little storm we got coming in. And we get on the other side of it and we can talk about this bonita. It would be incredible, right?
Yeah, I was not as hopeful. I kind of was thinking that the storm was going to push them away, but after seeing yesterday, they were biting in that weather, and the amount of bait that was out there, the amount of bait the bonita had in them, I think if that bait's around, they don't have a reason to leave. I think they're going to stick around.
Yeah, so what's it like getting wide open bonita and all those people on the boat? And I'm going to show a video Donna sent me here in a little bit, but
yeah,
it's like? Kind of crazy, right?
It's crazy. It's chaos, but we're trying to get it to be as much controlled chaos as possible. There's got to be some organization to it. We got to try to keep it controlled. Everyone's got to. I feel like on every sport boat, the joke is turn the handle and breathe, right? Like, don't forget to breathe. We're still, trying to work together and fish. It's like I said, it very perfect introduction to that offshore style fishing where you've got to move and follow your bait. The boat's drifting. We're not on anchor, and even more important than following your bait, all of a sudden your bait gets bit and this bonita's running from bow to stern or stern to bow, vice versa. And you've got to follow that fish. So everyone's having to work together, talk, move their feet under, over. And if you're not moving quick enough, which no matter, even if we're working like a well-oiled machine, there's always casualties with that style of fishing.
So, absolutely. Yeah. But isn't it cool to get to do that? I mean, it is absolutely one of my favorite things to do as a captain.
Yeah, no, it is awesome. And everyone, there's a lot of people, obviously, that are checking the counts and they know what's going on. They fish a little more regularly. So they're excited to go out there for it. And some people, they just wanted to go fishing and they didn't realize what was going on. We get on those bonita bites and they can't believe it.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this video I got right here. Check this out.
This is Dana Wharf Sportfishing in Dana Point, California, owned and operated by my brother and sister, and this is wide open right now, bonita fishing. It is happening. It's full speed, and you should be there. Wide open bonita.
Yeah.
Pretty spectacular, right? I get so excited talking about it. It's my very most favorite thing to do as a sport boat captain because my God, like you said, everybody gets in on the action.
Yeah, it's very good equal opportunity for everyone on the boat for sure. Everyone's got a chance. And as far as the crew goes, you know, you're really having to work for it. You're hunting, you're having to watch the trollers, check and make sure there's no grass on them, keeping your eyes open for bird schools, trying to get to the bird school or the school of fish that's breaking the surface of the water before they sink out. You know, everyone's all excited watching the fish jump around, you know, waiting for either the trollers to get bit or to get close enough to cast into these fish that are breaking the surface. And they haven't.
It's good training for your crew, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, it's been perfect. It's been fun. And, you know, I, rather than training, I think we could call it practice, right? It's just good to keep us practiced because we've got some good guys on the boat for sure. We've really been making it happen, keeping it, you know, as organized as we're saying, like we were saying earlier in that chaos. So, and a lot of casualties, but especially with that type of fishing, you're not having to do any crazy rigs. You're just fly lining a hook and a bait, you know, tie another hook on, get back out, and you're bit again. We haven't had any trouble getting them to want to chase the chum. You know, you find a spot of fish, just throw a little chum out, they come right to the corner. As long as you keep some chum going in the water, they stick to the boat pretty good. It's been fun getting some nice long drifts out of it.
And what's the average size of these fish?
Oh man, each stop in each school kind of seems different. We get on some stops where there might be some of those, you know, 3-4 pounders in the mix, but for the most part, I've got to say the average has got to be that like 6 to 8 pounds, somewhere in there. And one of the schools we stopped on yesterday was like a handful of those 10 to 12 pounders in the mix, you know,
wow.
Yeah. So it's tough to say depending which school you get stopped on, which school bites the feathers. There's been kind of a mixed grade all out there. I think one stop that I can remember was anything from, we saw a couple of the little 2-pounders all the way up to those 10+ pounders on one of the stops where it was a real mixed grade. But for the most part, you get stopped and you see what's there. And it's like, okay, that school is mostly those 6-pounders. You know, you get on another stop and it's like, oh, dang, these ones are all those 10, 12 pounders. So it's been fun either way. They're testing our tackle. They're pulling drag. They're busting line if you don't have your drag set right. It's been a blast.
Yeah, here's another video I'm going to show of what's going on out there.
Hey, Kyle, welcome. When the bonita are biting.
Hey, Kyle.
How you guys doing? Sorry I'm late.
Hey. Hold on one sec.
California.
Yeah.
Wide open, huh, Mauricio?
Wide open. No, it's been fun. And the size of them, you know, once you get into that 6+, anything bigger than 6, a lot of people are either don't have heavy enough line to bounce the fish or they're nervous to bounce it on their tackle. They don't want to break their rod. They've been fighting hard. So definitely challenging, you know, something fun, a little more sporty than the rock fishing that we usually focus on this time of year.
I gotcha. Mauricio, this is Kyle. Kyle is in Florida. Kyle runs a charter business down in the Keys. And then Mauricio, he runs one of my family's boats in Dana Point Harbor, we go from one extreme to the next. Kyle takes 3 to 4 people out fishing, and Mauricio takes out 100 people. So,
so one of those big old head boat sort of styles.
Yeah. So typically we're max for our fishing trips. We'll max it out at about 45. We don't want, you know, to get too crammed on there, but yeah. Before COVID, we would take 60 people, and if we're not fishing, if we're just doing like a, you know, harbor cruise or the firework cruise for 4th of July. We do holiday light cruises. Our COI says we could take 90 people. So if we're not fishing, you don't have all the tackle, all the rods and everything on board, it's pretty comfortable. You could get 90 people on there to go watch the fireworks or do a little harbor cruise.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. I worked for some guys over in Naples, Florida. They had a big double-decker boat. They do the same thing. We'd go around 5 times a day and talk about the houses in the area. And then New Year's and 4th of July, they'd bring them out and to watch the fireworks and everything.
Yeah.
So, dealing with that many people, I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, you get so many different personalities. You get a lot of good people, but then it's just dealing with every single person. You got to make sure 90 people are taken care of,
Yeah. No, it's definitely something that we talk about pretty frequently. That's a challenge of the job. It's a lot harder to get 30 people bit than it is to get 3 people bit, especially off one spot. You can hit up one spot and your odds of being able to get 3 people on a fish is pretty good, but to try to get all 30 people a fish off one spot doesn't happen every day. You got to jump around, try some different spots, and kind of dial things in.
And then you got some people that all they're wanting to do is catch big fish, and they're like, oh, well, so-and-so over there is catching more fish than me over here. What am I doing? Like, can you move the boat over? It's not the boat. It's just, I don't know. The fish are just wanting to bite that specific side versus this side. I don't know what to tell you.
Right. That, or sometimes it comes down, I say it almost every day. It's the little things that make a big difference out there. How are you handling your bait? A lot of people are squeezing their bait to death before they even cast it out, and they're wondering why they're not getting bit. Well, everyone that's catching fish is using a live bait. Yours isn't really alive anymore by the time you cast it out there. Or steel leaders, right? I know a lot of other areas it's popular to use steel leader. Here, it's pretty frowned upon and oftentimes doesn't get bit. It scares the fish away, and guys will bring these ganyons and steel leaders out and wonder why they haven't got a bite all day. It's like, well, you're the only guy using a steel leader. Maybe that's something to think about.
It's a big thing down here too. Like if you're trying to, let's say, go after a yellowtail snapper, if you have anything more than 15, 20 pound fluorocarbon, they'll see it. They won't touch it. And then now if you're trying to catch mackerel don't care. They see something hauling butt in the water, they're going to smack it no matter what. And that steel leader's fine. Or even with the presentation, like my big thing is mangrove snapper. And it's an easy family fun fish. And you'll go out to a bridge and I'll just give people shrimp on kind of like a chicken rig style. And I'm like, all right, throw it around the pilings, let it hit the bottom and sit and wait. And then they'll sit there and they'll get a bite and they'll immediately hank it like that. I was like, don't do that. These are circle hooks. Don't yank it out of his mouth. Oh, okay. They'll get a bite. Yank it out of the mouth again. I'm like, look, watch. Throw it out there. I'll leave the bail open, hold the line. I'm like, all right, there's the fish. Close it, reel it in. And they go, well, how'd you do that?
Less is more.
Listen, don't yank it. Just sit there and watch it. Wait for him. By the time you say, I got him, close the bail and just reel. That's all you got to do. There's no set. The fish are this dang big. There's no point to be yanking the hook out of their mouth and yanking the shrimp away from them.
Yeah, ripping their lips off, even if they do have the hook in their mouth.
God, dude, people do it with sea trout. Sea trout have one of the most fragile lips. Yanked it in, I'm like, dude, relax. It's not. We're not catching big tuna or something.
Right. And then like you said with the hook too, oftentimes to get a better hook set, you don't need to do that big yank. You're not ripping them out of structure. You let
them take it for a second.
Yeah, you're just trying to get it in the corner of the mouth, get a good hook set. And it seems like the harder the fish fights, even if it's, comparative as far as species go. I'm not sure what would be good species in Florida, but you could get a, 12-pound bonita and it would probably fight different than a 12-pound rockfish would.
Yeah.
Right. So, or snapper, so to say.
Well, it'd be like, for us would be like the difference is snapper and grouper. Like when you hook a snapper, it's a very sporadic. It's trying to get away. Where a grouper, it's just and it's just it's more of a tang versus a sports car. Something trying to go fast versus something just trying to slowly pull away from you.
For sure, and I feel
they just hook themselves. That's all they do.
You're right, and when they feel that fish running, they're taking drag, you've got to let them take drag. They panic and try to fight and pull harder and stop the fish from running. And where when the fish isn't fighting, that's when they kind of enjoy it and take their time and just turn the handle. But stuff gets so chaotic, it starts pulling drag, they start trying to panic and pull back, and it's like, no, just sit back with the rod bent and let them pull some drag for a minute.
Let them wear themselves out. You don't get to crank it as fast. Like even yesterday, I had 2 trips yesterday, and they're both parents with their kids, and the the kids ranged from 4 to 12. And the 12-year-olds, they see all the guys on like TikTok and YouTube where they're doing this with the rod, trying to set the hook and reel it in. And I watched one of the little kids, he hooked it, yanked the rod up, the weight goes flying above his head. And I go, well, he's like, well, I watch all the people online. I was like, don't do that, man. I was like, all you got to do is turn your body a little bit. So just reel him in. Guess what? He's on there. Now, if we were trying to fight a barracuda, like you're trying to fight a snapper and a barracuda's coming after him, all right, reel in a little faster, but just take him in. He's on the hook. Just bring him on in.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, though. Taxman out there in Florida is the barracuda and the sharks, huh?
Yeah, the barracudas, sharks, Goliath grouper. What else do we got? There's a Spanish mackerel. Like if you get a king mackerel or a Spanish mackerel, they'll come and take your yellowtail off the end of the hook.
Oh wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
With this bonita fishing,
here they're
sharks cruise around stealing bonita off the hook, and it's been fun. We've been getting a little bit of that.
Yeah, Kyle. Let me show you what Mauricio's doing right now, just to give you some type of an idea of what's going on the boats. Check this out.
Yeah.
Check this little video out I got right here. This is kind of crazy. It's wild.
This is Dana Wharf Sport Fishing in Dana Point, California, owned and operated by my brother and sister. And this is wide open right now, bonita fishing. It is happening. It's full speed, and you should be there. Wide open bonita.
Man, I hope it's not my internet that's just slow. I didn't see nothing.
Full-on mayhem when the bonita are biting.
You don't see any of this?
There is
no. I just got a loading screen.
Point,
oh no!
It's like I hear it, but I got nothing on my end.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I got an idea. What I'll do is I'm gonna go to your Instagram, watch the same live, and I bet I'll find it.
Oh my gosh. Well,
oh yeah, I'm seeing it.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy right now. What are you guys going out and dropping some feathers in the water a couple miles off the beach, Mauricio? Kind of explain it to Kyle so he kind of knows what's going on, and then
yeah, because I really want to come up to that area and go do some fishing up there because it's completely different.
Yeah, right now, even when we do our deep drop fishing, it's a lot different than fishing the wrecks in the deep water out there. We don't have to get too far, to get out deep. The drop off is only a few miles off the beach in most areas. And once you're past the drop off, you could be in a couple thousand feet. So the bonita, obviously we're catching on the surface, but they're hanging out in that deeper water. You want to get past the drop off, it's more offshore style fishing. And you put some trollers out while you're trolling around. I know now the smaller boats, depending on the model and how new it is, you can have some pretty advanced electronics on there. But with the bigger sport boats, a big thing that helps on the West Coast here is having the sonar and the fathometers to try to get whatever you're finding on the sonar right underneath the boat. So we're putting feathers out or halcos, Rapala, something that you can troll. And they're very fast swimming fish. So they'll come up and bite them going 8-9 knots, but you don't want to slide so far forward after getting a bite. So the slower you troll, usually the more productive it is, less tangles once you stop the boat and everyone's casting out. So we're trolling anywhere from like 6 to 8 knots, and it seems like they're biting just about anything you drag behind the boat. We're usually doing daisy chains of different feathers. We'll try some halcos. And if, depending on weather, some days you're finding a lot of schools with your electronics and you're just chasing them down. If the weather's letting you see them, you can see them breaking the surface, chasing bait, or bird schools diving down. So we're kind of running and gunning towards those. And sometimes you don't even get to the school you're seeing because there's other schools around below the surface that bite the trollers. So we stop the boat, we throw some chum out. And that's another big one. Being on the bigger sport boats here, we have a lot of live bait capacity, some big bait tanks on the boat. So we'll try to really keep those fish around by just shoveling chum over the side to keep them interested. And what we're chumming over is the same thing that people are putting on their hooks. So then you cast your bait out after the boat comes to a stop, and we're chumming a bunch of bait out, and they're just swimming around the boat trying to eat all that chum and all the hook bait as well. So it's been
so it's pretty much like when we're doing the mahi fishing. Like the mahi's the same way down here. It depends on how far they'll be at. Some days they're as close as 200 feet of water, and then some days they're around 1,200, 1,500 feet of water. You go around, you'll find either birds, structure. Once you find them, throw everything in the water. Just throw it all there, and they'll get right under the boat and just sit there in school.
Let me explain something to you, Kyle. Our very best Dorado, mahi, whatever you want to dolphin fish, our very best day, one boat, 700 Dorado.
No way, dude.
Yeah. It's a little different than what you guys do. It's when we chum, we have Mauricio's kind of being cool about this, but we have a couple 100,000 pieces of bait on the boat.
Yeah.
Serious, a couple 100,000.
Yeah, you've got, like you said, you've got a lot more room to hold that bait.
You couldn't hold that much on all your boats combined.
No.
Okay, when we slide into a piece of seaweed floating on the water or something, we throw a little bit of chum, and then all the people drop their lines in the water, and it's crazy. And we had, what was it, 3 years ago, Mauricio, where you guys were getting 1,500 to 2,000 Dorado a day just out of Dana Point.
Between the fleet, yeah, it was unreal.
Oh my gosh.
The bonita bites pretty darn similar. Like you could just, if you had 80-pound, they'd be biting the 80-pound. They're not really caring what you put in the water. This would be the time to go out there and do your ugly lure contest. You got a lure you never caught a fish on, you could go get a bonita the way it's been biting. So we're hoping after this little bit of.
And then what's your guys' like size limits over there for the mahi?
Well, mahi is no size limit. And then go ahead.
There shouldn't be a size limit on mahi. They live for 4 years total. That's it.
And they grow so fast.
4 years is all they live for. And you know why they die? Because they can't eat enough to keep their body alive. A 75 or 80-pound Dorado is 4 years old. So there's no reason to throw them back. There's no size. The only reason people make that kind of baloney is because they have no knowledge of what's going on in the ocean. To have a size limit on Dorado, that's stupid. They live 4 years. Harvest the hell out of them. You're going to catch one. You're not going to throw it back. It's not going to live. So why are you throwing it? I don't care if it's a 1-pound Dorado or a 50-pound Dorado. It's not alive when you throw it back. So that's stupid.
You'll watch it swim away, and then it'll hit one point, and it just stops swimming. You're like, oh, there it goes.
But we have, on the West Coast, we have something you guys don't have. We have an animal that's the most protected animal on the planet. It's got more rights than a human. It's got more rights than Mauricio. Okay? A California sea lion. And when I grow up, I want to be a sea lion because sea lions have free health care. They can lay anywhere they want. They take over all Mauricio's docks down in Dana Point. They just make a huge mess, and then they just roll off the dock and swim away. Now, if you and I and Mauricio went down and made this big mess on the dock, we'd go to jail or we'd go to prison. These animals get rewarded.
You go to the loony bin, they'd be like, "Oh, these guys are crazy."
But this animal, the sea lion.
So you guys have the seals. It's like those videos where the boat's coming in and the seals riding on the back trying to eat the
sea lion.
Sea lion, yeah, like California sea lion, different than a seal. We do see some seals from time to time, but they hardly ever bother us. They don't try to eat any of our bait or any of the. Yeah, the sea lions will try to take advantage of us. You know, and maybe I shouldn't say it that way, but they're trying to get any free meal they can. And they're smart enough that they don't hardly ever bite the hook. They'll bite your bait in half and leave you the half with the hook attached. You know, and then if you if you happen to hook a fish that you're targeting, now you got to worry about the sea lion coming and grabbing your fish while you fight it. And the bonita is one of the ones that is a really easy one for them to grab and digest and steal off the hook. One of their favorite fish to make a meal. So along with the sharks, we've been having a lot of sea lions too. And
they follow the sport. They follow the boats Mauricio drives because his boat does 9 knots, full speed, trim tabs down, aerodynamics, everything working, everybody leaning forward. The boat will do 9 knots, full speed, full bore.
So they can keep up with it. They'll just sit behind the boat and just follow along.
It's a lunch truck. It's a lunch truck. They understand. They know. They're super intelligent animals. And, and they're so overpopulated on the West Coast. They're definitely affecting the salmon population. They're decimating the salmon up in Northern California, Oregon, and Washington, and Alaska. But nobody, you can't talk. I can, because I don't care. What are you going to do? Cancel me? I can talk about them, but no one else is allowed to talk about them. It's like the taboo, Kyle. If you guys had an alligator or something that was destroying the fish population in Florida, there would be no more alligator.
No.
Here we worship them. We have.
Well, it's the same thing like the iguanas. Like the iguanas down here, they're technically a problem. They're invasive and they don't do any good, and they're eating all the native like plants and some of our like native animals. But you get the northerners, or when I say northerners, I'm not saying every northerner, but you get a lot of the ones that they're like, oh, look, it's a pretty animal. And it's like, no, kill it. Get rid of it. I've got buddies that go out there and they'll catch them just so they can take them home and get rid of them. They're like, I'm not going to eat it, but I don't want it out there. And they litter the Florida Keys. It's nuts. They're everywhere.
No, it's not good having that invasive species that can kind of just tear up everything that's providing a home for all the native animals. You know, it causes more competition for food. And
it's the same thing when it comes to the python, to the lionfish, iguanas. What are some other? There's a couple like birds, like a squeaker duck, I guess is an invasive species to Florida. It doesn't, I guess, affect really anything. It's not killing off like species that we have here, but it was something that was brought to what I heard, the Miami Zoo, and then a hurricane came through and they got out, and we went from having 2 squeaker ducks in Florida to now there's thousands of them everywhere.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Hey, let me show you something that'll work really good for this bonita. And Kyle, you could use these back there in Florida also. Check this reel out that Okuma is making right now, and then we'll get together here in a couple minutes after this is done.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is John Bretzel with Okuma Fishing Tackle. I have a very exciting new product for you for 2026. This is a new Rockaway SI. This reel is purpose-built for inshore anglers. It's also a great reel for any anglers that own, say, a Rockaway SP and they're doing that light surf fishing. Perfect for the West Coast or anywhere down along the Gulf in the Southeast. This reel is going to come in 4 different models. We're going to do a 2500, a 3000, a 4000, as well as a C5000 body. So all perfect for those applications I just mentioned. The body and side plates are injected out of C40X, so you don't have to worry about corrosion. It's a great reel, very maintenance free. The other key element to this body is it doesn't have the on-off and reverse selector. So at the bottom of the reel, that's one less area for water to intrude into the body. We also equip this reel with our Hydro Block 2 body system, and so what that does is it's gonna have rubber seals to prevent water from getting into the reel. This will not be a waterproof reel, but it's a great splash guard for normal fishing situations. This is gonna be a reel that's gonna really optimize your overall experience on the water. Now the drag system's gonna be carbonite. So if you got the 2 smaller sizes, you're gonna have 18 pounds of maximum drag. If you go up to the 4000, 5000, you'll get 24 pounds of max drag. Great stopping power, say you hook a big bull red or a big giant snook. It's gonna be supported by 5 high performance bearings, as well as our quick set and reverse roller bearing. In addition to that, these are gonna be full grease pack bearings with rubber seals to make sure there's no water intrusion, to make sure those ball bearings last as long as possible. As far as a platform internally goes, this features our HDG Plus gearing. What that is a larger diameter drive gear, and so it allows us to build a reel that has high speed gear ratios that are going to be extremely durable and not going to break down on big giant fish. So if you look at the 2500, 3000 size, it'll have a 6-to-1 gear ratio. When you get to the 4000, 5000, it'll come with a 6.2-to-1 gear ratio. Now, as far as technology and smoothness goes, what we've done is we've equipped this reel with our flight drive system. So when you turn that handle, this reel is going to be extremely smooth and durable when you're casting lures all day in and out. The other thing that we featured in this reel is our GSS, or gear stabilizing system. What that is a supportive ball bearing on the top and bottom of the pinion gear, where a lot of spinning reels only have one ball bearing. This is going to have two to make sure it's got proper precision alignment, so that this reel lasts a really long time when you're fishing on inshore environments. If you want to find out more information on the new Rockaway SI, check it out at a retailer near you or on OkumaFishingUSA.com.
And gang, you can use that QR code on the bottom of the screen right above Kyle's face there. You can use that QR code, go over to OkumaUSA.com or OkumaFishingUSA.com and check out all the products. I mean, there is a plethora with the new land-based shark fishing and all the other things that Okuma's got going on. So check it out. And they'll be at the PCS show at the Orange County Fairgrounds. I'll be at the PCS show every single day. Mauricio will be at the PCS show, and the Dana Wharf Sport Fishing booth will be at the PCS show the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th of March. And it's going to be a spectacular show. So come on out and support the show, support us, be there for us. And I promise you, I will put on one heck of a show. I might even talk about how to fish, but I will be making you laugh. That's for damn sure. And all right. So Kyle, it was kind of cool to hear John Bretza mention snook and redfish. That's stuff that me and Mauricio know nothing about, but that's kind of in your wheelhouse, right?
Oh yeah, I like that reel. I've been trying to I'm trying to get into some new equipment for the boat, because I've got some older Penn stainless steels that I got from like consignment stores, and they work and they're great reels. But I got like 2 of them, and then I've got 2 Daiwas, and then I have 2 Penn Clashes, and I'm trying to get a whole set of maybe like 8 rods that are all, or at least somewhat all the same, all the reels to pretty much be the same. And I like that one that you guys just showed, because that's got the same color as my boat. And with a 4000 series holding 26 pounds of drag, I really don't need much more than that. That's perfect.
Right. They're kind of cool, and they'll be at the ICAST show, and I'll introduce you to John Bretza and everybody at the ICAST show, Kyle.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You just hang out and keep doing the show with me, and you'll be surprised at how many people will notice you.
Well, that's why I texted you the other day. I'm like, man, I'm wrapping gifts. Like, I got all the presents that I'm trying to wrap behind me, and I go, well, you know what? I'll have the day off. Let's just see what Dave's up to. Let's see if I can hop back on and meet some new people.
Anytime you want to come on, I love having you. You bring a lot to the show, and just like Mauricio, just having the 2 of you guys on the show today is really helpful for me, because you guys have a lot of cool stuff going on. Like, you were out fishing yesterday, Kyle.
Oh yeah.
You were seeing stuff, Mauricio, I can't even imagine. Mauricio was out fishing and catching stuff yesterday that you can't even imagine.
No.
So having the 2 of you guys talking shop here and the other folks listening, I think that we're all getting something out of this. So what was your day like yesterday, Kyle? Just give me and Mauricio don't know.
So down here, it was actually really windy down here. It was blowing
windy at Dana
20 up to 25 miles an hour. It was absolutely nuts. And it was like that for the past 2 days. So yesterday, like I said, I had it was a family friend of mine. It was them and their kids, and winds blowing. All the kids are fishing out the back, catching snapper left and right. The parents are trying to sunbathe in the clouds, but we had a great time. We caught multiple fish. We caught Jack Crevalle. We had Key West grunts. We had Sailor Choice grunts, mangrove snapper, pork fish, look downs. We hooked a barracuda when one of the kids was reeling in a mangrove snapper, and he broke everything off. And then the day before that, it was all the same stuff. Just with all this wind, you get the protection of the Everglades, but when you got the wind coming from your side, when you got the wind coming out of the east and you're trying to go north, you're going to get rocked around. You're going to get wet. And most people, they're like, let's just stay inshore, go catch something that we can eat, and they're happy with it.
Absolutely. What's the day? How many hours?
Yesterday was it was 2 4-hour trips. And so I started at 5 in the morning and I didn't get home until I think 7 at night. And then that's the way it's going to be for the next, I think, the rest of December, basically. I've got today and tomorrow off. And then Friday, I've got 2 4-hour trips. Saturday, I have a 6-hour followed by a 4-hour. Sunday, I've got 2 4 hours. Monday, I've got 2 4 hours. And then Tuesday, I called her. She's wanting to book a trip for that Tuesday. So it's not booked yet, but it's probably going to end up being 2 trips on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds like it's exactly what you want. Nice and cool weather, not humid.
I can tell you, exactly. That's the best part about it. And I tell you what, I'm blessed. I'd much rather be busy versus sitting at home doing nothing for weeks on end.
And then Mauricio, he's kind of stuck on this weather for the next few days. Besides tomorrow, they're not working, or nobody's working tomorrow that I know. But
no.
Yeah, after we come out of this wind and rain, right now they're looking at, I know in Florida, you don't even turn on the windshield wipers for 10 inches of rain, but Mauricio's got an opportunity to have a couple inches of rain, some wind. Talk about it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking out the window now and the rain's coming in sideways. It's pretty windy.
Oh my gosh.
It's coming and going. There's patches of it, it'll be windy for an hour or two and then it kind of dies down, and the rain will go away for a little bit and then it starts blowing and it blows another cloud over that dumps rain, and it's been
well, here, I'll make you guys both jealous with this. Because this is not what your weather's going to be like over there. It is bright and sunny, crystal clear skies out here.
Yep. We had that to start the week. There was definitely a little calm before the storm. It was really flat on the water. We had some sunshine, but the forecast wasn't wrong this time. That storm made it. It's here.
Oh, yeah.
And now you just got to see what's going to leave behind after this wind, blow, and rain. Is it going to be okay? Are we going to go kill a bunch of bonita again? Because
I think so. If that bait hangs out, I don't think those fish are going anywhere. And the direction that the wind and the current's been coming from, obviously wind can cool the water off no matter which direction. But the way it's coming from isn't the usual direction. So I'm hoping that it's not going to chill it off too much.
I guess time will tell. All we're going to do is you got to go on the 26th, 27th. You got to go look at it. So we'll see what's left over.
Yeah, we've got a trip Friday as long as the weather cleans up enough. If it's too nasty out there, too sloppy, we don't want to go. But if the weather, depending on weather, we got a trip Friday. We're going to get out there and see if we can't find those bonita again. And if not, like I was saying earlier, typically December, we're focusing a lot of time on the rock fishing because we get the rockfish closure for the new year. So we've definitely got a fallback plan if we can't find those bonita. Rockfish typically aren't affected as much by water temperature. As long as the weather's good enough to get to the rockfish grounds, you got a good shot, some good opportunity.
Those are those real black fish that hang out on the bottom, right?
We're not specifically targeting those. Those are more for commercial fishermen, to sell in the markets. That's like the real cod fish. We call them rockfish or rock cod. And there's a lot of different species of rockfish or ground fish that we catch in our waters. Probably similar to when you guys fish the wreck. There's so many different species. But I guess kind of rockfish is an umbrella term that kind of covers a lot of the different ground fish. And then of all those rockfish, there's a lot of different species. Just off the top of my head that we typically catch that we could expect to see day to day would be like a vermilion red, starry eye rockfish, green stripe, green spot, speckled rockfish, square spot rockfish, bocaccio, chili peppers. We actually have a bank rockfish that most people call Floridas. That's kind of their nickname. I'm not sure why, but a lot of people call them Floridas, and those are one of the bigger, tastier rockfish species. So there's, some good opportunity as long as the weather lets you get out there, because same thing, you're having to go a little bit farther, fish in some deeper water. So you want the current and everything to be in your favor when you're dropping down deep like that.
Yeah, but Mauricio, you got to remember where Kyle's at. You got to drive 100 miles to get to deep water. And like Mauricio,
yeah. If you're in the Gulf, if you're fishing the Gulf side, you're going far. Like if you want to get, I think if you leave out of like Fort Myers, Florida, and you go into the Gulf, I think every mile is like 2 feet. So you're going 70 miles to get to 100 foot of water. Where, I mean, it's similar to the Keys. If you're on the Atlantic side, 3 miles is the edge of the reef. You'll go from 30, 40 foot, and then it'll drop to 100, 150. And then once you get to about 200, which would be, I would say, 4 miles out, it slows down a little bit, but then it'll be 100, 200, 300, 400. It's all the way out. I think 20 miles offshore is where we have it called the Islamorada Humps. Yeah. And that's in anywhere from, I think it's 900 feet of water to 400 feet of water. It's just a big mountain range underneath. But yeah, like if you're going offshore, you're going 20 miles if you're going to go bottom fishing versus if you're just going to go troll around, you'll probably go 10, 15 maybe to go troll around for mahi, tuna, sailfish. You can even stay a little closer some days if you get a good like cold front that comes through.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. No, that's not too far at all. And typically I would assume if you're doing 3 to 4 passengers, you've probably got a little more speed too, not such a big boat. But,
oh yeah.
For a 9-hour trip, when you can only go 9 miles an hour, you don't get a lot of range. So for us, at least, rock cod, the rockfish grounds seem far compared to the other fishing we do, but it's really not far. You're just going 9 miles an hour, 9 knots to get there.
You're just slowly cruising.
Yeah, which is also good. You got that many people on the boat, gives them time to get all their gear rigged up. We've got galley, a full galley on the boat. We'll do breakfast, burritos, and sandwiches, and then lunch, burgers, quesadillas, hot dogs, stuff like that. And that's like for a lot of people part of the experience. The camaraderie and when it's bonita fishing, sometimes it's the chaos of having 30 other people on the boat, but also the camaraderie, everyone cheering each other on and helping each other out when we're fishing. And but all that, having the galley, a lot of people say getting out there and having a boat burger is all part of the experience. All pretty much any one of those sport boats on the West Coast here. If you ask people that fish on the sport boats, they're all going to tell you got to try a boat burger. If you go on one of those boats, you got to try it. It's just kind of one of the things we're also known for.
See, I've never even been on like one of those big party boats. We've been on one where you can take your family, so you've got 12 people instead of like 30 or 40. But those big boats where you have the galley and it's a whole experience. We've got a family friend of ours. She does it all the time. They'll do those 3-day trips where you're sleeping on the boat and eating. You fish whenever you want, but you're here for 2 days. And I've yet to do a trip with her, but it sounds fun. Like you said, it's an experience.
Yeah, I haven't done one of those out. I know there's not a lot of charter services or trips that offer the bigger boats with a lot of passengers like that. Most of the charters are the smaller 3 to 6 pack style out there. But I've always wanted, when I go out to Florida, I've always wanted to try one of those to kind of see how they operate on the bigger boat with the 30 plus people on board. But there's not a whole lot of them.
No, there's one in Naples that I worked with. They're called Pure Florida, and they do inshore and offshore, and then like sightseeing trips. And they have They have a 30 and a 32-foot World Cat, and then they have a 40-foot all aluminum. I think it's called like Metal Shark. It's the people that make like Coast Guard boats. They put a foil under this thing. They put 2 diesel power engines in it. This thing flies, and they're taking 20, 30 people offshore. But you get a bathroom and a seat. That's all you got. And then if it starts to rain or if it gets real crazy, then we roll down the plexiglass on the side. But other than that, you're just there to fish. There's no galley or little hangout living room.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's depending on the boat. Not all the boats. You know, every harbor kind of has some different boats in the fleet. Like the real fun would kind of be ours. It still has a galley where we have food, but there's nowhere for you to go sit or hide from the rain if it started raining. It's like a fishing boat, you know. And a lot of the fishermen, the real, you know, avid anglers that try to fish as much as they can, they do like fishing on that boat because it's low to the water and you're there to fish. There are some perks to it, but on a rainy day, you know, there's no, or even on a sunny day, if you're wanting to try to get in some shade and hide from the sun, there's not a lot of spots. So we kind of get the same vibe on a few of the boats, but most of them do have the galley for, you know, depending on the boat. Again, some of them, maybe a handful of people can sit down. Some of them can seat up to maybe 30 people. All 30 people can fit in the galley. So every boat's got a little different layout.
Oh, yeah.
I got something to say. These look down fish that you're catching, Kyle, we are catching look downs full speed. I'm going every night right now fishing on the beach down here in Cabo San
No
Lucas.
way.
And it's wide open look downs. They're like a gang. If you don't know, it's the skinniest fish in the ocean. These things are like super thin, and they're like a piece of aluminum foil. We call them tortilla fish down here, our look downs. And why do they call them look downs? Because the way they swim around, they can't look up. They just look down all the time. But they're fighting wide open on the beach, Mauricio. I'm standing in 2-3 feet of water, casting my Colt Sniper into my live deception flash lure into the water, and I'm just annihilating them. And then last night I accidentally hooked an amberjack in the surf, about a 12-pound amberjack, and oh my gosh, I caught him in like 3 feet of water. And when I got him in, I looked at him, and he looked at me, I looked at him, and I had a little conversation with him. Hey, bro, I'm sorry, I don't have any pliers right now, so don't move. Whatever you do, don't move. I do not need one of these treble hooks in my hand. And but it's fun. We're down here fishing on the beach. I don't know a lot of 64-year-old men that are standing in the surf fishing all night long, but me and Kelly are down there every night fishing. It's pretty spectacular. Hey, Marley, and there's my little monkey right there. But yeah, so Mauricio, we got another thing coming up. I want to show right now. I want to show everybody, which is really exciting, Kyle. If you look at this, whoops, not that. This. If you look at this, this is exciting. Talk about the Halibut Derby, Mauricio.
Yeah, that's right around the corner. We're getting close. But I was talking about the rockfish closure at the new year. When rockfish closes, we're not really targeting rockfish. You might accidentally catch them by catch, and we'll release them with a sequelizer device. But we're definitely not targeting them. So to help, draw some more people and gain some interest, it gives us something more to target, right? Since we can't target rockfish, we'll get out there and try to specifically target halibut. When you target halibut, you got to fish usually much different than any other type of fishing because we're drifting. But we're not drifting along like offshore fishing. You're drifting along trying to target something on the bottom. And usually those kind of fish are really keyed in on structure. But halibut can just be laying out in the mud. So it's a different style of fishing, and it does draw its own crowd. A lot of the people that like to do the halibut fishing kind of stick with the halibut fishing. But if it's something you haven't tried, it's worth trying. I'm sure there's a lot of different styles of fishing in Florida too, depending on what you're targeting and what water depth you're in. But we'll focus on the halibut. And there's some other fish we catch by catch, but we're drifting along all day, regardless of what we're seeing. even if there's bonita boiling around, we're not going to go after the bonita. We're going to be trying to get some halibut on the boat, drifting, dragging bottom with some guys will try some different lures and grubs, but for the most part, live bait with a reverse dropper looper. They have some other different halibut rigs where it kind of lets your leader slide around a little, so you're not tugging on the fish when they initially bite that live bait. But we try some different areas to drift along. It's like a 3/4 day trip is what we call it, 9 hours. So it gives you a lot of time to drift too. And if you wanted to look at some different zones to drift, it gives you time to drive to some different areas. But I'm particularly excited for this year just because we've caught so many on anchor, not necessarily targeting them, which, any of our trips taking people out fishing, any biting fish is a good fish. We're not complaining about it at all. But the fact that we've been getting them and we're not specifically targeting them, catching a lot on anchor, more than I've seen any other year working on boats. I'm excited to get started with this halibut drift. I think, targeting them and drifting for them, we're going to hopefully find a lot of them this year.
Those halibut look sick. Like down here, like in the Keys, we really don't have flounder, but then like you go Fort Myers, Tampa, North Florida, they've got flounder everywhere. But our flounder, like a big one is maybe 14 inches, where you see these guys up on the East Coast and Alaska, and they're catching these things that are the size of a doormat. And I'm like, dude, that's nuts. That looks so sick to go do.
The Pacific halibuts do get bigger. We're not seeing any of those. We're targeting the California, but they're still not small. Like you said, the flounder about 14 is a good one. Our halibut's legal size limit is 22, so it has to be 22 inches or bigger to be a keeper. And like you saw in some of those photos, there's some 40-pounders around. Those are no measurement needed.
Right.
Those are sick.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's coming up. It's just January 1st, gang, and there's a plethora of prizes. It's really fun to get into it, and then fish of the week, then fish the whole, and then the fish that wins the whole entire tournament. There's first place, second place, third place. It's pretty exciting to be a part of, and the people I know, they eat it up.
Yeah. And then if you're not going to be able to make it on an actual halibut drift trip, or like I said, because we've been catching so many on our normal trips on anchor, let's say you're on a normal half day or a normal 3/4 day, that's not a halibut derby trip. If it's an open party trip, you can still buy an additional ticket in the office so that if that enters you into the derby, if you happen to catch a halibut on that normal half day or 3/4 day, you can have that halibut entered in the derby. But you have to buy your halibut derby ticket in the office before you get on the boat to take off for that trip. And then, which is very popular. We'll get a lot of people doing that too. I think last year we had a handful of our fish that were on the leaderboard were from fish that were not caught on a drift trip. It was just an open party half day.
Beautiful. So there's opportunity there to get out there and do that. And whale watching seasons, full rack, full speed, right?
Yeah. The gray whales are migrating. We're seeing those, and even those are they kind of steal the show. They're the star of the show this year, but there's been plenty of humpbacks around too. And with that bonita we've been catching, those bonita are here for the bait, and the dolphin that we have in our waters are chasing around that same bait. So the dolphin are not far from the harbor. There's been a lot of them, and so many different pods. Some pods that just seem like they're real widespread feeding, and some really densely tight-packed pods swimming around, racing around, chasing each other. It's been putting on a pretty good show with all this bait and bonita around. It's been pretty cool.
And just to give you some type of idea, Kyle, my family, my father, he was the very first person to ever take anybody whale watching in 1960.
No way.
Yep. He had a professor out of Orange Coast College that wanted to know if we could go out and look at the California gray whale that was migrating down our coast. No one had ever thought a whale. they were still whaling in those days. They were actually taking whales for food back in those days. My dad took a group of college kids out whale watching in 1967, and lo and behold, a multi-billion-dollar industry was created.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, gang, if you want to get a hold of Mauricio or anybody at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, simply give them a call at 496-5794. It's 949-496-5794. You can get out on any of those trips. You can follow along on the queue and get any information you want, from a charter for 150 people to a charter with 2 people. We don't care. We don't discriminate. We'll take anybody, anywhere, anytime. Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Check it out. And then if you want to get a hold of Kyle, check this out.
Yep.
Talk about your there's his Instagram.
Yep, there's me right there. It's been a great couple weeks down here, man. I was able to do my first duck hunting trip up in Tallahassee with some buddies of mine. The snook bite has been really good. The redfish are out there. I got a bunch of buddies that have been catching them a lot.
So we can give you a call and get out there.
Absolutely. I can tell you what, my January, I know it'll book up fast, but I've already got 10 trips set up, and hopefully there's going to be 10 or 15 more of them.
And any of you guys coming out to Florida for the holidays or any time after that, you might want to check Kyle out, because he offers something that's very unique. Fishing in the Everglades is something I've always wanted to do, and I never got a chance to do it. I did get to catch a bunch of peacock bass up in Fort Lauderdale.
I saw that.
That was pretty cool. I didn't have any idea.
I saw that.
I didn't know there was peacock bass in Fort Lauderdale. The guy asked me, he goes, "Hey, you want to catch a peacock bass?" I said, "Dude, I don't have time to go to South America. I only got the afternoon off." He goes, No. Meet me in the morning. We'll go fish these ponds. Hey, are you okay jumping over a fence? I'm like, "Is there a fish on the other side?" He's all, "Yeah, I'll beat you over it. I'm an old man, but I can jump for a fish." Right. It was pretty spectacular. You guys have it pretty licked down there. If it wasn't so flippin' hot and humid, you may see me and Kelly moving down there. But we were in Fort Lauderdale there in September, October, November.
Oh yeah.
It was melting us. We were melting.
It was hot.
Yeah.
Those 3 months, like September is really hot, and then October was supposed to start cooling down. It didn't cool down at all. November was the same thing. It was supposed to cool down a little bit. I think we got maybe 1 or 2 cold fronts, and then it just immediately got hot again.
Yeah, when they say cool down, Mauricio, we're like, yeah, okay, 65. No, it's going to be in the low 80s tomorrow.
Yeah, it's still 80s.
Only 70.
I can tell you, we've had a cold front coming through, and it's supposed to be 65 degrees, and that's cold.
Yeah. But it keeps.
I tell you what, but that you get those warmer days that's what I love about down here, man. Is even though it's 100 degrees and it's hot and you're sweating, you come in the summertime, you got people that want to go to the sandbar and they're going to sit there and they're going to drink and hang out and play in the sand and the water, and then we're going to go snorkeling over in crystal clear water where you could see 80 foot down to the bottom. And then it's like, all right, well, we're not going to go fish the Everglades because now the water is 110 degrees. But we're going to go hang out, drink beer. They can get drunk, and then we'll just hang out. And then, then you go home. And then when the cold starts to show up, then we'll go do a lot more fishing. And then you'll get a few northerners that are like, oh, the water's 75 degrees. That's like bath water. And they'll jump right in. Meanwhile, if it's under 82, I ain't getting in there, dude. That's too cold for me.
Yeah, we don't get 75-degree water for very long in the year when we do get it.
No, yeah. Like there's people from up there. Like I did a summer up in Martha's Vineyard, and I think the warmest I got was like 76 maybe during the summertime. And the air was maybe 80. And all those guys are like, dude, it's so hot. The water's hot. I'm sweating. Meanwhile, I'm showing up to work in the morning with a sweater on. I'm getting on the boat still wearing the sweater because the breeze to me is freezing cold.
Yeah.
And I won't even get in the water. They're like, oh, dude, come jump off the Jaws Bridge. I'm like, no, the water's too cold for me. I ain't getting in there.
All right, you guys. Well, you guys have a Merry Christmas. Thank you both for being on the show today.
Man.
Great show, Christmas Eve show. Everybody out there listening, I want to tell everybody, have a Merry Christmas. Take care of yourselves. Relax. Enjoy tomorrow. Enjoy your family. And I will be back with you on Thursday. Or no, on Friday. Yeah, Friday. I got Sherry Bondi joining me. She's got a really cool fishing village in Puerto Penasco. No, in Abriojos. So we'll be back with her talking about fishing Abriojos on Friday. Thank you very much, Kyle, and thank you very much, Mauricio, and have a great
Absolutely. Thank you.
Of course, anytime. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
And we'll see you